It might be a long one because I'm pretty tired today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Bussin With The Boys, episode 160.
Is this 160?
This is 160. And I know for the last couple of weeks I've been saying 160, 160. Everyone's like, no, 158, no, 159. Now we're finally here at 160, presented by the most durable, reliable vehicle on the road, the Chevy Silverado. Silverado is strong and dependable as the people who drive them. Can I please get this font a little higher? Because you're my boy, I'm squinting way too hard. Chevy Silverado, modern and advanced with a ton of grit, a partner in getting things done, especially when it comes to the heart and soul of the pickup truck, the bed. With Silverado, the most functional bed of any competitor, best in class standard cargo volume, the innergate folds to a large step for easily getting in and out of the bed. Silverado, strong, advanced, dependable, and hardworking. Speaking of, dude, we had a strong, advanced, dependable, hardworking weekend.
We did.
Lots
we were just
to
talking
unpack.
about being tired, like, and how it's carried over into Monday a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it seemed like you went to, but the second wedding was today?
Second one was yesterday.
We'll get into that.
Dailies. We'll get into that too. Well, you want to break down what we're going to talk about today? Because do you want to hit the Thursday first or Quinn's wedding first or?
I think we should. Everybody's excited to probably hear about the Beer Olympics. The boys,
Yeah.
Taylor, the O-lineman, they threw a big Beer Olympics over at Taylor's house, and the setup couldn't have been any better.
It was a banger.
Mounds of beer.
Yeah. We had a, we'll show it to you if you're watching the YouTube. If not, you can probably check out the Instagram. We had literally a stack. It was like 6 by 5.
By 4, by 3, by 2, by 1. Right?
Was it like that?
Yeah,
I
you
thought it
had
was
like a
stacked. I thought it was
pyramid.
stacked up like a rectangle.
You talking about the beer picture?
The beer
Oh,
picture.
that's a triangle. It's a pyramid. I'm pretty sure,
All
buddy.
right, we'll just wait right here. I'm in no rush. It's hot as Hades
I
today
think
too.
it's on Taylor's Twitter. I don't know if he put it on Instagram,
I gotta get better at doing that.
but it was you
Oh,
had
he's right. It was a pyramid.
you had beer pong set up, flip cup set up, beer is a beer ball. You call it beer,
Beer ball, yeah.
Beer ball set up. I mean, it was awesome, and I don't want to sleep on. I think the biggest sleeper of the whole thing was the way the bracket was drawn up.
You didn't without you. It would have became a shit show after the first
All I
round.
needed to hear.
It would have been a shit show. I literally go to Will and I go, "Hey, we got to find someone to do a bracket." And he literally goes like this, "Buddy, I got this." I'm like a bracket guru.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. So the rest of the fucking
Bracketologist,
day,
baby.
Will was in there like Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover, just fucking watching those numbers fly by and stuff. Putting those things together, he did an incredible job. Without him, Beer Fest wouldn't have been what it was. Now, the way we set up our Beer Fest was it was fun. And Will and I did try to cheat to get on the same team. At the end, we decided let's just let ball happen. And I ended up with a
It was
great
just
partner.
tough. It was kind of hard to,
Yeah.
because even when I was talking about how we could finagle the hat and the picking the names,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like say there was 2 left, like you're either trying to throw one in or somebody's like, I only feel 1 in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Taylor and I were going to try to finagle a way to be on the same team.
It
I
was
was
one-
fired up about Quinn.
Yeah, you had a good partner. And I think it's better that we weren't on the same team. We like to chirp each other. But we're great
No,
teammates.
if we're a team, if we're on the same team, I
Yeah.
think we would have done. I think we wanted to be on the same team because we probably didn't want to have like division between ourselves throughout the tournament.
Yeah. And I don't think we really did.
We vibed good
It was
together.
a good day.
You had to pull me aside a couple times, but it was for
Because you were going at somebody else.
yeah, the way that
Yeah.
oh god, yeah, the way that freaking Naquan and
Yeah, it seemed like it was always a black guy.
it was.
Is
It
that
just happened to be. That's just a coincidence. It
Okay,
wasn't.
you just
I'm
nothing-
not-
you just
I'm not
nothing to-
racist. There's nothing there to
I
unpack.
shouldn't cancel you for
Yeah,
that?
there's nothing to be canceled.
Okay,
It was just
I'm
a
just
little
being-
dust up. It was a little dust up
Yeah,
at the Lewan house.
and it just happened to be.
Yeah, it just happened to be. He just
Okay.
happened to be black.
Okay.
But like, and again, we'll get into it. But there was a lot of you know it too, being the ref. Like,
We might as well just get into it now.
You had to keep your eye on that game because there was a lot of yelling going on.
There's a lot of cheating going on too, and I could have disqualified you guys several times. Taylor really hung me out to dry because I'm a competitor in the game. Whoever won that game was going to play me, and so I was like trying to be unbiased and actually like, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them because if I played them, I had an easier chance for the championship.
Right.
But I was rooting for you because you're my boy, and that's how it works. So this is how the whole game was set up. We took, I think there was 12 teams?
14 teams.
14 teams. We had 28 numbers in the hat, and everybody picked out. Once you got the number 1, and then Will got the number 1. That means you two would be teammates. We did the teams that way. And the first game we played was just a quick 6 beer, 3-on-3 heat. How fast can you put down those beers?
Like a mini case race.
Like a very mini case race.
3 beer race.
Yeah, 3 beer race. And I thought to myself, a minute's going to be a good time. And in the first round, I think somebody hit, was it 30 seconds, JP?
35.
Me and Dillon.
Oh,
30. Yeah.
if
First
you're going to
round.
talk, please use the mic.
It's right there.
Dillon and I.
And you guys were super fast. And I looked at Jordan Roos, who was my teammate, and said, "Hey, buddy, we got to fucking go on this thing." And Jordan was like, "Hey, no problem. This is my fucking thing. I do this." And I was like, "All right." Because I've seen it. He showed me a video of him shotgunning a beer bonging a beer, and then I think just a cup of a beer. And
literally showing Taylor tape.
Showing me tape.
Taylor, come check this out.
And I'm like, oh shit, that's my teammate. We're going to dominate this thing. No problem.
He's literally showing him tape, old footage of him chugging.
Right. And there's 4 heats, and you guys were in the first heat, and you guys held all the way to the last heat. And I think we broke 20. We were 16 seconds, right?
23, I thought.
I don't know.
I thought you guys were 18, but I did hear.
I know. I personally.
I already rumored 16.
By a lot.
I already rumored 16.
I beat everyone by a lot, but there was one rule in place for that specific game. It was if you threw up at any point after drinking, DQ'd.
Right.
Unfortunately,
hold it down.
our boy Creature Man
got 18 seconds. You got 16.
Yeah.
Everybody figured Taylor's team would win that because the boy can slant. He can
edit that out. I don't want people to know I can chug.
You already said 16 seconds.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no, if we're going to talk about it, like, it is what it is.
I don't want people to know I can drink because it's a long game for me.
3 beers in 16 seconds.
Yeah, that was electric.
It was electric.
And I sat there.
Myself.
I took 1, I took 2, and I knew those were really fast. So I yelled time. I want to hear the time. And no one would give me the time, so I gave a quick burp and hit the last one, and that was 16.
The burp is key because
burp was key.
I've never done a beer chug like chugging a few beers in a row like that, and everybody's like, "Oh, the burp, you got to do the burp."
Yeah,
it hurts going down, bro. That is fucking true. Like it feels like a sharp pain sitting on top of your gut.
Yes.
But once you burp, it's like you burp out a spear. Then you're good to go, bro.
For real, that's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah, it's like you burp out something nice.
One, you're like, damn. I think a mistake people make is trying to burp after the first one. They're trying to force a burp.
I think I did that.
Did you? I go 1, 2, get a good burp, and then that 3 goes down easier than 1 did.
Yeah.
It was great. But
I couldn't believe I got 35 either.
I was impressed.
I was
very. Everyone had a great showing, and I thought, oh, we're gonna crush this, no problem. And our time was amazing. It was awesome. And then I hear guys cheering. And I'm like, well, ain't nobody ever cheering for me in anything ever. No, especially my teammates or anybody. No one's ever cheering for me.
Taylor was so hyped that he got Jordan on his team. They're chest bumping.
Oh, like, bro. I mean, look at the man. Look at my boy, dude. He's from Texas.
Yes.
He's fucking done it. You know he's going to put down some beer today. And I've seen him play beer pong. I've seen him do a couple of games in Key West. And I knew like, oh, I know I have a good partner. I know what your boy can do.
The beer guys got on the same team, right? I was like, oh, okay, we fucking got 28 fucking numbers in there, and they got on the same team.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
So everyone starts cheering, and so sure enough, I turn around and Ruse is throwing up.
Throwing up after the 3 beers.
It was more of a spit up. Like it was a gentle, you know what I'm saying? Like he kind of.
I didn't see it. All I
let it out, and
he's DQ'd.
They DQ'd us, dude. So we started the game. We started the next round, which was beer pong. We had to run it all the way. I think it was like 6 games just to get to the final.
So how we did it is we used we used the beer chugging, the 3 beers to chug, and everybody got time. That's why everybody was divided into heats. It was like heats of teams of 4 or 5. 4 or 5 teams in each heat. Everybody got timed, and then your time seeded you to set up the beer pong tournament. Yes. And with 14 teams, you had to have 1 play-in game. 4 teams got to buy.
Which was us.
There were 4 games to play those high-seeded teams.
So 5 games just to get to the final.
Yeah, so you guys had to win 1 extra game more than anybody else to get to the final.
Yeah. So I don't know how your guys' beer pong. Go and talk about your guys' beer pong because I've already kind of said how me and Ruse and I's game started.
Right.
What seed were you guys going into the beer pong?
We were the 3rd seed going into beer pong. So we had a first round bye. We were set up. And then the top 5 case race, or the top 5 chugging teams got points. So it was a point system. You went seeding for beer pong tournament. Depending how you ended up in the tournament, you get points down to into the scoreboard. So each tournament we played gave you points, and that's how we figured out who the Beer Olympics champ was. But us going into beer pong, we were a 3 seed, so we were already sitting in the round of 2 points.
Yeah. You only had to win 2 games to get to the final.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we won our first one.
Who was it against?
Who were we playing? Because you were down there on our last cup for like damn near an hour. There's a lot of wind though. There's a lot of wind. Corey and Corey's teammate. I don't know who it was.
Yeah, they were Corey's teammate was.
Oh, was it Riley?
Quinn's brother-in-law, Riley. Yes,
yeah,
who was on the bus, or came and saw the bus the other day.
So we beat them, and then we lost to Ben Jones's team.
Which anybody who's ever met Ben Jones knows of Ben Jones. Ben is a guy that's literally good at everything. He's good. He's good at everything. I don't know if he's ever great at anything, but he's good at everything. And that is
he's
him.
a good chirper.
He's a good chirper too. He knows where to get you. He knows where to get you. He was saying some things to Ruse. And I was like, hey, you got to get that out of your head.
Ruse, now he can be easily.
Well,
you can creep in the creature man's head fairly easily.
You think so?
I think so.
You think it's an easy access gate code there?
I think so. Think about when you were on the bachelor party and I just had to say a couple little texts and he's
been hurt for weeks about that.
Yeah.
I get that point. I will say when it came to the beer Olympics, I knew Ruse was so excited about that 3 beer chug because he really wanted to, show the people what he had. Mm-hmm. And when he threw up and really sent us down to a DQ. We were the last seed in beer pong. It really rattled him for the next half of the whole beer Olympics. This is one of the last, probably not the last bad things I'll say, but I mean, the games we played in beer pong, I don't know how many shots he made.
Really?
Like it was tough sledding.
Time you pulled me aside and you're like, hey, I've made every shot.
I mean, JP was there for a lot of them. It was tough. In the first game we played, he got a bounce, which was nice because that's 2 cups. And we're shooting and he's not really making any. And it's like, we get down the last 3 cups. They have 3 cups left. We have like 6 cups left. So we have a good time. But they slowly start coming back because I'm missing. He's missing. Finally, we win it at the end. And that was tough. Those next 2 games were really hard. And then we went on fire at the end. I think
you got a championship round bye because Ben Jones backed out, which DQ'd his team, and we couldn't switch him up.
So we ended up winning beer pong, which got us right back in the race.
They get 4 points for that tournament. I was tight. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, dude. Because
why you leaving?
If we don't win that beer pong, we don't win. There's no chance of us winning beer Olympics.
Right.
So we're back in the fucking game at that point. Now, the rookies, Nick Petit-Fatita, whatever his fucking last name is, the way he was talking to me, during the workout before Beer Olympics was he's about to put on the show that no one's ever seen before in my life. Gotta be honest, was very disappointed in his outing.
Really?
He didn't even podium, I don't think, at the end.
Get on the podium was hard, though.
Yeah, it was a difficult thing to do.
It was a long day, and I will say this.
It is a long day.
I hate to interrupt, but after one game, and all we're talking about is Ben leaving in the middle of beer pong, which is, we had a chug off, which is a quick game.
Right.
And then we get into beer pong, and he has to leave after 2 games. If you're going to do a beer Olympics, boys, and listen, I know guys got families. Ben went home to put his kids down. I had kids too. Yeah, I had a kid too.
Yeah, but you set up a sitter, didn't you?
Set up. The wife, just being a trooper, just knew that the boy was going to be gone all day long. She knew it was going to be an all-day affair, which is good, which is what you want. Right. But don't partake in beer Olympics, which is an all-day thing, if you're going to have to leave fairly early.
Yeah.
So,
and beer pong does take a long time. So I did single elimination. So Ruse and I, we got it done. We won it. We would have won that last game too. We were on fire at that point. Ruse shook off the cobwebs.
I think if we beat Hilliard's team, I think we have a really good chance of winning.
Maybe
we might have won by points because we'd only lost by 1 point because there was a tie. I know there was a tie between you and whoever it was, and then I think we were 1 point behind.
We didn't have a tie. We never had a tie. I think your team had a tie because someone was arguing about what do you do? Do you do 1 cup for a tie or do you do 3? And for me, it's always the 3 triangle. I don't know how everybody else feels about that. But
you guys were going to do it against the team you tie with, but everybody just included everybody so we could all, I guess, just get more drunk.
Yeah, I guess so. And now once that ended, the next game was Flip Cup.
Fun game.
And so the boys were in there as a 1 seed. We had to buy all of a sudden. It was an outstanding deal. And we lose in the first time we go against the Flow Gods, Corey's team and Riley. And you guys saw the video, obviously. I'm sure we put it on TikTok or whatever. Very disappointing.
You walked into the pool?
Yeah. Very disappointing showing. I thought we were out at that point.
Taylor?
Yeah. Hey, I thought we were out at that point. I thought it was done. Yeah, this is it right here.
What Taylor do? He reached across and hit a cup, and I was like, he's cheating.
Yeah, I did try to fucking cheat a little bit. I did. I absolutely did. But I listened. Your boy was flipping. And I know we're 12 minutes into this podcast and I've really been gassing myself a lot, boys, but fuck, I played this. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta let out the cage, man. You gotta let out the cage.
I did. And so I was super disappointed. Beer ball hits, and it's not a game I played a lot. Flip Cup happens. Who wins Flip Cup? The Flow Gods. I think Corey won, didn't he?
The Flow Gods won. Flow Gods are Illinois' finest.
Yeah.
Which
was Christian and Jamarco, the new guard we got from Seattle.
Yeah, rookies. The rookies did a good job.
No, he's not a rookie. He's not a rookie. Oh. Like a 5th year or something like that. No disrespect. So then what the next thing was
Flip Cup. Quinn left after beer pong.
Yeah,
So I had to go flip cup with who was my second partner? See, I got passed around. Yeah, Tart. Tart was on a fire team.
Yeah.
Tart, they were like a little sleeper team. And I saw Tart putting him down with this little white beater on. I was like, hey, Tart, why don't you come on my team? We're already kind of like in the top 3. Let's team up. We teamed up and we did a good job on Flip Cup to where I think we made it to the semis when we lost. And then Tart left. And then I ended up with Riley.
And Riley, Riley's a good ball player. Good ball player.
I do think he had a weak link when it came to beer ball. Because they were picking on him. Both guys were firing at his.
Oh, tough.
Because he just wasn't, his defense just wasn't. It just wasn't different. He was just having a tough day.
I think next year when we have another beer Olympics, what has to happen is if you're going to buy in and you're going to play, you have to stay the whole entire time. You have to.
Yeah.
Because Quinn was so fired about CMA Fest and he wanted to go to the concerts and all that. And if you're a concert guy, good for you. I'm not, but do what you want. But I thought you need to stay. Riley was supposed to go to the concert also. He said, fuck the concert. I'm staying here.
Well,
this is where I want to be.
About it too. Like, yeah, stay.
Yeah, 100%. So shout out Riley, dude. Quinn. Yeah, that's a tough look for Quinn. But it was his wedding weekend, so, do what you want.
Because it was like 6 o'clock. He's like, I got to go at 6 o'clock. And I'm like, bro, why did you start Beer Olympics? We started at 3 p.m. You thought this thing was going to be done by then, bro?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good ball player. It was a tough look for Quinn. But then beer ball happened, and Ruse and I took that as well. And I think we were down by 1 point, so we needed to win the 3 beer chug off to end it. That was the finale. We ended the same way we started. 3 beers, each partner. I looked at Ruse and he just said, don't say anything. I got this. And sure enough, the boys had it. And just took home, what was it, $2,400?
I don't know. It was a $100 buy-in
You could vent the cans.
Per person. $100 buy-in per person.
Yeah. And so there was 24 people,
$2,400. It's a good win. Good split right there.
It's a good split. Good
for you,
so
man. You need it.
No question. We always need it. Then after that, dude, the boys decided we're not done yet. We're not that drunk. And so
party bus is coming.
So Vrabel told me he let the rookies out early. The vets get done during OTAs at 2 p.m. Rookies got to stay for like rookie meetings. They do a walkthrough, a whole bunch of stuff. And Vrabel goes, hey, if I'm going to let these guys go, you need to make sure there's transportation for them there and back. I said, no problem. So I got the party bus set up for them. Picked them up at the facility, took them to the house and waited. So then I had party bus guy up and I go, listen, the boys want to go out. Can you take us out? And he's like, it's going to be this much more. I was like, let's go. I just came into some money. We can make it work.
We treat you real nice out here.
Treat you real nice out here. So my man takes us to Losers. And I made the conscious decision at that point that there's no more drinking for me. Because I had the next day was Friday. We had rehearsal dinner and all this stuff for Quinn's wedding. I needed to be sharp and on my game to meet a lot of people, talk to a lot of people. So I stopped drinking, but you kept going.
I kept going a little bit because I was getting like, when we had that little downtime, that little intermission between Beer Olympics and when the party bus was coming.
Yeah.
Brought out the Stogies, pulled out the Stogies, had a couple with, I don't know who else joined me, but we were vibing high. And then when you get on the bus, you kind of chilled for a little bit. So I had to like pick myself up if I was going to like be for the boys and everything else. So I think I might have taken a couple more shots.
And we get to Losers, and Losers is pretty dead, but we got a bunch of shots for the boys.
And we were vibing in that party bus. To me, I love
vibing. And the party bus was an electric time.
Yeah, it was a good time. But we got the Losers, and Losers was kind of like, personally, like I think that's a good vibe where we were at Losers.
Yeah.
But you saw what the young guys and what some guys expect if you're going to go out. Yeah.
The single guys wanted the bitches. You know what I'm saying?
Where the hoes at?
Where the hoes at? Yeah.
Yeah, we made a movie last night.
Whoa. And we really did, dude. It was a blast. So we get to Losers, we take a couple shots. It's always a great time being in there. I love being at Losers. It's amazing. It's in Midtown. If you guys ever want to check it out, no for shout out to Losers, but they've always treated me great. So it's amazing. But it's a low-key vibe. It's much more low-key. There's live music. And Fridays and Saturdays, it does pop off a little bit because of CMAs, Broadway was just going fucking crazy. Shoulder to shoulder, dude. So we get back on the party bus and we're fucking sitting there. And we gained a whole bunch of people. Jackie Boy shows up with a whole clique of people. Do you want to talk about who you brought with you, Jack? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, my man rides under the radar.
We were leaving Losers to go to Broadway. We were sitting on the party bus for like 15 minutes and no one knew why we weren't moving. Turns out the driver had hit somebody.
Yeah, he fucking hit somebody, dude. Which really killed the vibe, low key.
Yeah.
Really kind of killed the vibe. It was tough. And everyone was such a trooper because everybody's on the same page that we're getting fucked up, dude. That this is the plan.
Yeah.
We're doing this, and everyone's like doing their best to stay in the moment. Party bus drops us off. I'm like, hey, you need to take us to Jason Aldean's, right? That's where we headed to. Takes us to Jason Aldean's, but it takes like a block and a half away. He's like, this is as close as I can get. And then Jack's, I guess this man spends a lot of time on Broadway. He's taking us through alleyways, through back doors and shit. We get there, we go up, and it's fucking packed in there, dude. It's crazy how many people were there, shoulder to shoulder.
We had to sneak all around on all the outer parts.
Yeah, just to get around, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So we did that. That's when you bounced.
Yeah, that's when I hit the Irish goodbye. I was still talking with Jack about it a little bit, but I was kind of on the decline. It was kind of like the midnight piece, and we had been out all day. The boy was drunk, but I wasn't in that phase like when we were going out on the party bus or at Beer Olympics. I was kind of coming off that, so I was like, let me just cut my losses and head out. Be one of the first guys to head out, sneak out.
You know who also did an Irish goodbye? Talon.
Your wife.
My wife didn't even say goodbye to me. She said she looked at me and I was surrounded by a bunch of dudes, and she goes, "It's gonna take 20 minutes for me to get to him." So she just fucking dipped. She just dipped, and shout out to Talon for that. Because I would have then, when you're drunk and your girl's trying to leave, you're like, "Hey, what's wrong? You're not having a good time? What's the deal?" And she's like, "I know that what happened." So she just caught herself a little taxi home and boogied out of there. And then you need to talk about this other place we went to, because I never even heard of it, and everyone's like, "We're going to."
Well, I came up to you. You were a fucking celebrity that night. You couldn't walk 2 feet without some drunk guy coming up wanting a photo.
So then, dude, I tell you what, the dicks love me.
Yeah.
The penises love me, dude. It's crazy.
So then me and a couple of my friends were heading out, and I told you, and you go, "Oh, I'm coming with you. I'm going." And so
because I was trying to get out of there.
Yeah, and then when you left, so did 15 of the rest of our party. All the boys who were at Beer Olympics came, and we went to Layer Cake, new bar right across.
Layer Cake?
Called Layer Cake.
Right across from FGL.
Yeah.
Taylor ends up buying a table, and
they hooked the table up.
Oh, they hooked it up.
Yeah.
And I mean, we ended up staying there for probably another hour and a half or two.
Yeah, I headed home at 2:30.
Yeah, it was a good time for sure.
And I was about to boogie. I was about to get the fuck out of there.
Late night.
But then I went to go do a lap to see like what's going on in this place, and there was the farthest table is like a bunch of the Titans boys hanging out. So I was like, that's why I hung out a little bit longer. It was a fun time for sure. I'll tell you what Layer Cake is, dude. If you've ever been to Scottsdale, Arizona, and you've gone to Old Town, Layer Cake. That's Layer Cake. El Jefe, Bottle Blonde, all those places down in Old Town. That's exactly what Layer Cake is. You got the women.
Vibe.
It's a club vibe. You got the tables. Women are wearing like the lingerie stuff. They bring the bottles out with the sign, which if you guys fuck with that, that's fine. That's good for you. I can't stand the fucking bottles and the sparklers and stuff.
Oh, I'm all about the sparklers.
You like it?
Love it.
I hate that, dude. And I'm an attention guy.
Just to see the sparklers.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be like, hey,
you got paper like that.
Let's get the sparklers back out here.
Yeah. Where's this at? Oh, this is when I did the thing. Oh yeah, your boy is cooked right there.
Oh yeah, because I think you did it twice.
Yeah,
that's when you know you're cooked.
It's being a little overplayed. You know, that's it's getting a little overplayed when you fucking run it twice, dude. I thought it was funny laying in the middle of all those people just while they're dancing on tables and shit. Yeah. Her like toes are like fucking doing the thing on my. It was a weird deal. Oh, JP's into that. So yeah, Layer Cake was dope. Get home. I think I left at like 2:30. Get home at like 2:45. Decided to put King of the Hill on.
God damn it,
That's one of those nights where you're like the noise is still in your ears, but you're kind of coming down.
You can't sleep at all.
Silence, yeah.
It's tough. My phone shattered. Got a new phone. Shout out my new phone. It's blue. I didn't want it to be blue, but here we are.
Dude, literally, I went to Apple with him. He goes up and goes, "Hey, I need to get a new phone." And they're like, "All right, what kind of phone you want?" And he was like, "Let me get one of them right there." They're like, "Oh, it's a new 13s." They're like, "Which color you want?" There's like, you know I play for the Titans. Let me get that blue one.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Yo, it's so funny because when you're like, I went with Taylor to Apple Store. I was like, I went to Verizon. Like, you were with me. Dude, I go in the Verizon store the next day. This is my next day. I'm super hungover. I go to the Verizon store. I'm sitting there, and I walk in, and there's a Karen in there yelling and screaming at some dude. She's like, my bill was this much. You guys charged me that much. And I was obviously listening to every single word she said. It was like a $20 difference. Like, Karen, fucking relax for 10 minutes. You're going to get your 20 spot back.
Yeah.
Like, she's fucking losing her mind. This poor bastard's like just taking it like an absolute champ, being a pro about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then who comes up to me next? The poor boy that just got his fucking dick kicked in by Karen for the last 45 minutes. He's like, hey, how can I help you? I was like, well, I need a new phone. I wanted my mini boy. All the mini boys were like, what, 12 gigs. I'm gonna get like 3 songs and one contact in that thing. It's all gone. So I can't do that. I ended up doing this one. He's like, all we got is blue or pink. I go, I'll take blue. I'm like, will you help me set it up? Because my phone's shattered. It's literally like cooked to the side. Like if you looked at it, it was bent. Like the top half and the bottom half was literally bent. It was crazy. So fucking this dude is like, sorry, you need an appointment for that. And he's real standoffish. And I understand because he just got fucking Karened up. And I tell the boy, I'm like, hey, that must suck, isn't it? It's tough when people just come in here and yell at you. You're just trying to do your job, huh? And he's like, yeah, you know it is. It is hard. And we start having a little conversation.
Ooh, been a little rapport with him.
A little 15 minutes goes into it. He goes, I'll help you set up your phone, man. I'm like, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Hooks me up, plugs it in. We're good to go, dude. New phone, same attitude. Love it.
You like that one?
No, I like my Mini way better.
You actually like the Mini for
It's
real?
hard for my thumb to get all the way across the top. I'm fucking sweating. Is it so hot in here right now? Dude, fucking heat advisory at the ass right now.
But you sweat on every pod.
Not like this. I feel like I'm back on the OG bus.
Well, you're probably still sweating out some of the beer Olympics. You know what I mean?
I've hit the sun a couple times. I don't know. Your boy hurting right now, though.
I feel you.
Game Time. Game Time is the exclusive ticketing app of Barstool Sports, and it's the only place you can get the best, cheapest last-minute tickets. CMA Fest just happened. We went to a few concerts. I got in that Game Time app, got myself some tickies. It was outstanding. We weren't hitting nosebleeds. We were right sitting there in the perfect spot for the cheapest tickets, dude. If you like to plan ahead, you can see your NFL tickets now on Game Time on the Game Time app. Titans opener September 11th against the Giants. Download the Game Time app. Go to account tab to create a login and redeem code Bussin for $20 off your first purchase.
Oh, shit.
Terms apply.
That's love.
Download Game Time. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed.
Let's talk about you ordaining. Is that what it's called? Ordaining?
Marrying.
Let's talk about you ordaining your brother-in-law and his new gal.
Yeah. So Quinn, my brother-in-law, got married to Keisha, and they asked me, I don't know, in November if I would do their wedding for them. I said, yeah, no problem. I can do that. I've done it before. Once for Joey Tramontana is the boy's name. I did it in June time, just like this. It was out like 35 minutes out of the way, beating sun on me, and I remember just like sweating like I am right now, like fucking beads of sweat were hitting the piece of paper as I was trying to read it. And we've all seen me do ad reads on here. It's tough. So in my head, I'm like, yo, you got to memorize this shit if you're gonna have any sort of a chance of like sounding like a real ordained minister.
How many times you rehearse it?
75.
Really?
No joke. Once I wrote the script, I was like, I gotta read this over and over and over again.
You just keep doing it like in front of the mirror, or
in front of the mirror. When I knew where the stage or wherever they were gonna get married was gonna be, I stood out there in front of empty chairs and just like envisioned everybody being there and all that. And it actually really helps. I did that. I'll let you talk about how I did, Will, because I've been gassing myself too much. You know what I'm saying?
You do like the gas.
I do like the gas today.
Taylor did a really good job ordaining them. Right when I got there, Charles and I got invited to the wedding, which I thought was hilarious because like Quinn and I are boys, but it was just like, you know, you feel funny because at one point he asked me to be the best man. But that was more of a joke for sure. Right when we showed up, there's like, hey, come to the back with me. And I'm like, what for? He's like, I want to read you something. We go to the back and we're just in the back in his closet, like next to his dryer. And like I'm saying, he's like, just stand there like you're Quinn and I'm going to rehearse this thing. I've rehearsed it a lot, but I need to do it again. And he does the whole thing. And I'm like, bro, you're going to crush it. I'm like, that was a really good job. He goes out there. My man, he takes a huge deep breath.
Go ahead and rate it for me.
I'll rate it for you. So my man's out there. You can see he's a little nervous, but he's nervous because he cares. He wants to do right by the bride and groom.
That's true.
And he takes a my man's really dialing in. He's checking in right now. He wants to nail this thing.
Yeah.
They come out. He does a great job being loud to where everybody can hear, not making it about himself, which the boy has some tendencies at times to do.
I do that.
He did a really good job laying everything out. He didn't really miss in on any of the sentences. There's one word you tripped on where some people might have like got a little phased by it, but you reiterated the word and you continued to roll with it. Said a couple good subtle jokes, like the bride joke was really funny. If she plays her cards right, what'd you say? If she plays her cards right, you'll be my sister-in-law.
Yeah. If she doesn't get cold feet.
Yeah, if you don't get cold feet up here, you'll be my sister-in-law.
It's easy pickings at a wedding, right? Everyone's willing to laugh at anything you really say.
Not always.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, it's a good point, and that happened at Dillon's wedding. But go ahead.
And then Wedding Crashers, she was like, I think I'm gonna crush it with some jokes, and she says a joke, and she gets crickets.
Yeah.
So you gotta go with something that's genuine. You did a really good job being genuine, not making a speech about anything other than them two. And you did a good job crushing all the lines. You married them both. They both said, I do. They both had a fabulous kiss. They walk off. You tell everybody, hey, unless you're part of the family or unless you're part of the family, grab chairs and bring them to the back because everybody needs to like earn their keep around here. Gave some orders. Everybody's picking up chairs and move to the back. It goes super smooth. Overall, I would give it a 4.5.
That's what I needed to hear. Yeah, I'd agree with that rating.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that rating. I asked Charlie to do the same rating for me. It was a little more critical, but you know, Charles' a vocabulary girl. I'm sure she didn't like some of my basic words I said.
What'd she say? Didn't she say that you said a word? Like you said some kind of word?
Yeah, she liked my use of integral. Maybe?
Was that?
Was that?
Is it integral or integral?
No, it's integral. I don't even know what that last word was.
Integral? Is that a word? Carousel? Carousel?
Integral. Yeah. They both are integral parts of.
Shoutout Taylor sitting there and I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah. Charlie, you know.
Yeah.
You get Charlie a dictionary. She's good for hours, bro. You get Charlie a dictionary.
You talk about words, she's all in.
She's all in. She's all in, dude. So that was a good time. Jason made it a fabulous meal. He did barbecue for the boys. It was awesome. Great time. You guys boogied out of there pretty early too.
Well, early, but also like I didn't know everyone was going to be talking like that.
Bro,
there were so many speeches at the dinner. And once that dude...
And how unorganized.
Yeah, but once that dude started to say a poem, I was like, I need to get a quick break.
You talking about Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to say a poem. He said a couple lines. I looked at Charlie. I go, hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Just, you kind of like do this. And it's not a big wedding, and I'm just kind of getting up and walking out.
It was a good wedding, dude. They did great. It was fabulous. Good families, too. Obviously, Quinn's side of the family. It was only Quinn, his mom, Talon, and their cousin, Dallas.
Yeah.
That was the only... And then, like, there was like 30 of Keisha's family and friends.
Yeah, and is Keisha Italian at all? It seemed like that was kind of an Italian.
They had like a bit of this.
They had a little bit of that. Bald, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Mark, the dad. They were a great crew though. They were there to party. They had a good time, but they kept me up to 3 a.m. again, dude. 3 a.m. again. Now, you know, the whole time I was thinking, when is everybody gonna leave so I can watch Top Gun? Because I need to go see the new one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
you're trying to figure out when the conversation might die down, but somebody says something else and picks back up, and you're like, fuck, it's not really going anywhere.
And it's not them. I loved hanging out with them. I was just like, I was just tired.
You're tired.
Beer Olympics was still on me.
Yeah, you had to switch the whole house up to go from Beer Olympics vibe to wedding vibe.
Yeah.
Which I do think you guys could hold a small wedding venue if you keep it under 40 people.
Yeah, no, it went really well. I think that was at 40 or just under 40 people.
Yeah.
And it went really smooth. It was a nice deal. So yeah, that was great. And then the next day I go to Dillon's wedding. And that's where I saw Dillon's groomsmen.
Yeah, let's just jump right to the groomsmen.
Yeah.
I want to know what that interaction was like with this groomsman.
So
we did a lot of shit these past couple pods.
And they've heard it all. They heard every bit of it. Also, shout out to Abby, Dillon's wife. Her bridesmaids were the life of the party.
Really?
The life of the party. And I'm going to start a little in the front. I'll go back. We'll Tarantino it for a second. They were having so much fun at the reception. And I'm kind of like getting a bird's eye view of everything going on with this wedding. I'm like, where can I help? Because we're like late a dish because of Key West. So me, Preacher Man, Jordan Ruse, and Uncle Tony, we all got invited to the wedding as like a last second. Like you could tell, like the name tags, they like barely got them things printed off. They were hot off the presses when they got done.
Notebook paper and let them go.
So I'm thinking to myself, if there's anything I can do for this wedding, it's to make it a little bit better if I can. And I'm watching, these girls are dancing, having a blast, like being, not like trying to be sexy dancing, but like being stupid dancing, like having a good time. They're doing the ball in the air and like this shit, you know, they're doing all the fucking.
Dance like nobody's watching.
Dancing like nobody's fucking watching, dude. They're doing an amazing job. And I look over to my left and all the groomsmen are like fucking middle school boys, dude. They're sitting over there like scared to dance with the girl. It's like, listen, if you're married, if you're not married, it don't matter. Just jump in there, act stupid, have a good time. Because the more you guys do that, the more people are going to want to come. So me and Jordan were like, Uncle Tony, he's a sit in the back type of dude. You know, he says 10 words a night and you listen to every single one of those words and you love him to death. But he sits there for a reason. Me and Jordan were out there two-stepping, having a good time, ripping it up, making stupid dance moves, doing the whole thing. And I just feel like they could have done a little bit more there. Now, when I got to the wedding, I knew in my head there might be a little bit of animosity between them, from them to me, which is totally fair. I've said things in this podcast, and to be totally honest with you, I completely stand by them. You know, they fucked up, and they got to do a little bit better. And I told them they fucked up. But I have a rule at a wedding. I've told you this. I've said it on the podcast before. When I go to a wedding, it's not about me. So I'm not going to make this big fucking explosion conversation with these guys about it. But the bridesmaids were coming up to me, Abby's coming up to me and being like, hey, that's so awesome. You guys did a bachelor party for Dillon. We're getting brownie points. Dillon's mom's coming up to me loving it. Abby's dad comes up and he's like, it's really great what you guys did for Dillon. I'm sure he loved it so much. Like we become a huge part of this wedding because of a small little trip that we decided to plan last second. And I go up, I see the boys start coming out. One dude fishes out. I can't get his name. If you look him up real quick, he was a 4th round pick for the Bengals this year and played at NDSU with Dillon. He was a beauty. Guy had a smile on his face the whole time. You could tell he was there to party. He had to drive back to Cincinnati that night, so not a lot of drinking from the boy, but he had a good time. Yeah, that looks a lot like him. Yeah. Cordell Volson. Cordell Volson was great. I thought he was awesome. But you could tell when they all got together, because I kind of met him one by one, like, hey, nice to meet you. And he was all smiles. And I met the rest of them, and they were all smiles. And then hilariously enough, Dillon sat me, Jordan, and to Uncle Tony with all the groomsmen for the dinner. So we're sitting there, and it's kind of like, you could tell they had like a little bit of like, are we going to tell Taylor to go fuck himself today? Spoiler alert, they didn't say shit to me. You know what I'm saying? They didn't say, but you could see it in their eyes. They wanted to do something.
Get brought up.
Oh, I brought it up.
Right, but they did like
instead
of saying like, should we tell Taylor to go fuck himself? I'm sure they were just thinking, I hope this situation doesn't get brought up.
Well, a couple of them individually came up to me and were like apologized. And then one little cucker dude came up to me at the end as I was leaving. And he goes, hey man, about the bachelor party, like, I feel bad that we couldn't do one, but we all live different lives.
Ooh.
And I go, that's all good, man. No, whatever. But in my head, I'm like, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What do you mean we all have inconvenienced lives.
Yeah.
We all gotta go. It's a bachelor party. You gotta go. It's your boy. Now, yes, I missed you as well. So I fucking get it.
Say, you were swinging the sword hard on these boys for someone who
fucked up, but here I am speaking on both sides of my mouth.
Yeah, like major fuck up, not just fucked up.
Yeah, major fuck up.
Yeah.
But I've sat there and
like low key, you could easily be at that table with them. You know what I mean?
At that table with Dillon?
Guys who let down their boy for a bachelor party.
Like if there was like if there's a blank room and they're like, everyone who's let down their boy at one time, go stand over here. I have to go stand over there.
No, guys who like let down their boy. What do you
just fucking said?
Yeah, but you said one time. You're trying to say like there's a one.
I've let you down one time.
Yeah, but that's like the way you let
Here we go again, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
All manipulative dude.
All I'm saying is if there's a table to where you let your boy down for their bachelor party, you could potentially be at that table.
I would absolutely be at the table.
Superhero and throw a nice bachelor party for Dillon.
Yeah.
But you could easily be, you know what I mean? Like with them.
I could easily be in that table.
I'm sure there's probably like, fuck this dude. Like he came through for Dillon, but what about last year when he let the boy down?
Yeah. And you know what I'd say to that? Letting you down gave me an opportunity to grow. Maybe I wouldn't have taken this opportunity as serious as I did with Dillon if it wasn't for the mistake I made with you.
Yeah, every choice.
It's like dating, dude. It's like dating. Take something from your old relationship. What could I have done better there? You go to your next relationship and you try to do better and fix those problems. And that's what I think I did. And I let you down. I'll forever be sorry. Forever.
Choices have consequences, man.
Yeah.
Tighten that thing up.
All that being said, I know I said a lot of stuff. Towards the end of the night, the boys, the groomsmen really started to buy in. They were having a good time. They were dancing. In the beginning, it was a little shaky, but at the dinner table, we had great conversations. One of the guys across from me was telling me the story about Dillon, Abby, and him. Well, I can't tell that story because I don't want to get Dillon in trouble. But they were in California and they had a hilarious time. And they were doing this thing where like you have to tap the glass, and you tell a story about the bride and the groom, and then they have to kiss. And so I was like, boys, as soon as the minister said, hey, or father, what are we saying that wrong? Is it minister?
What do you mean?
All right, Jippy. The minister, father, or whatever, the priest, he goes, hey, he basically explained what I just explained to you guys. And he's like, I'm looking at you guys over there, like pointing at our table. And I look around at the boys in the white shirts and the black ties. And I'm like, hey, this is your time to do this. Let's go. Nothing. Not one thing. Finally, one guy gets up and he doesn't know Abby very well, but he knows Dillon. He's a hometown friend. He gets up and he goes, I don't have a big story, but I wanted to say thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy for your guys' relationship, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, guy killed it. Absolutely. And all the boys were at the table telling awesome stories. And every time they finish a story, I'm like, hey, just tap the glass and tell that story because they're going to love it. They didn't do it, though.
It could just be anxiety. That's tough. That's why you got to normalize. Like, you got to hype your boys up.
I was
you
trying
gotta
to hype
tell a
them
good
up.
story.
And Jordan goes, Taylor, why don't you get up and tell the story about Key West? I'm like, dude, listen, what? And so I make these guys feel bad.
Right.
And I'm talking to Jordan as if they're not here. I'm like, I know they fucked. I'm looking at them like, hey, they fucked up. They know they fucked up, you know? But I don't want to soil the boys in front of everybody. All that being said, great group of guys. I really like them.
I don't know.
Dude, I really like them. I know they listen to this podcast, so I'm going extra hard because like it's funnier to me that they can't say nothing back right now. But like
in the comments right now.
They should be. But they were good dudes, dude. The whole squad was awesome. The North Dakota State squad was great. They had a whole different chants and songs that I was trying to buy into during the time. Very cool wedding. Families meshed together well. Moms were crying. The dad of the bride cried, and that was beautiful. The weddings, the speeches were not long at all. They were like 4 minutes tops, and you need those. You don't need extra 45-minute speeches. You know,
don't need those.
No, you don't.
You don't need them.
You've been through it.
Been there.
We've all been there.
Yeah, I've been there. But
No
yeah,
doubt.
you're right. The nice, short, and sweet ones that like you can just feel that it means a lot. Like the guy who just said, "I don't have." Thanks for inviting us. I'm so happy. Like,
Yeah,
that's all you need.
that's all you want.
Yeah.
They should honestly start doing weddings where they have like, if it's a smaller wedding, everyone just stands up and says something nice real quick, and then it just breaks the ice. Everyone's got to say something.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for inviting me. I love this. Is amazing. You guys both look beautiful today. Boom. And who's
I
next?
think it's one of those things like, say Dillon listens to this pod and the last two pods and then the way everything's unfolded. Do you think he like looks at his groomsmen as like, damn,
No,
you guys would have stepped up a little bit more?
no, because they're his groomsmen for a reason. They're gonna be boys for a long time. I think the relationship that they have. I'm not coming in here to steal friendships with Dillon. I'm just coming here to add to Dillon's friendship. Fucking brigade. You know.
Seems like you're trying to get in that groomsmen list.
Well, they've already gotten married, so how do I get in?
The first time.
Nah, they gonna make it. I'll tell you what, dude. Statistically,
What is statistics?
that's less than 50% now. Make it less than 50%.
Really?
I
There's
think
like
so.
a 60% divorce
I
rate?
don't know if it's that high, but I think it might be like 52%. Don't make it. So the odds are against both you and I. Odds are that either you or I will get
The odds
divorced.
have always been against us.
Yeah, and what do we do?
You know what I'm saying?
And what do we fucking do, Willie?
Show up. We show up, we persevere, and we get through the hard shit.
What is it?
There you go, JP. You guys couldn't hear him, but he said, beat the odds, do numbers, and remain humble. Mm-hmm.
I love it. But overall, I feel like I went too hard on the boys. I do. I feel like I went too hard on those
I
groomsmen.
felt like that was coming the way he was hyping up the other parts of the wedding.
Yeah, because
Like now he's doing the comeback.
Because I'm looking at their
Climb back
faces. I'm closing my eyes. I'm looking at their faces in my head, going, "Oh man, they're gonna be so sad." I now have a name to a face.
Yeah.
That vibe.
Yeah.
But
'Cause I
listen,
saw one dude at Beer Olympics, and I was like, "Hey, did you hear our stuff?" Because hopefully you heard our stuff, because
Yeah.
that was
he has.
some bullshit.
That was some bullshit.
But hey, you learn. You learn. You get
Learn.
like you
I
gotta
hope-
get over the hump.
I hope someday all of us are at a fucking vacation together, a boys trip together, and we all have a great time. Because
Yeah.
I'm here for the good times. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for the
Most of
fucking
them.
good times. What?
You're here for most of the good times. That's all I'm saying.
I know. I'll tell you what happened to me this weekend, though, is it re-energized my love for weddings. I was in a phase there where I was like, I don't like going to weddings. It's not
Really?
that fun.
Did you like going to mine?
I really enjoyed yours. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I really did enjoy yours.
Because ours was last year. You know what I mean? Like,
No, yours. It's like I think it might be more fun just being a guest at a wedding than as being a groomsman at a wedding. I think it might be a little bit of a hot take, but
yeah,
there's no really responsibility on you. You're there for a good time, you know.
true.
And as long as both wedding parties decide that we're gonna get fucked up and have a blast, you're set, dude. You need an uncle to pass out. You need an uncle to make an absolute idiot of themselves. You need a younger cat that's either a friend of the bride or the groom that just gets fucking hammered, and it's like, oh, is he okay? Is he gonna be all right when this is all over? And then overall, you just need people to buy in. They know that, hey, we're gonna have a good time. Who cares what you got going in 24
Yeah,
hours?
the next day, you need the conversation like, hey, I just want to apologize because that's not really who I am.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah. But it was fun, dude. It was cool meeting Dylan's mom. Dylan's mom is an absolute beautician. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Loved her. Abby's dad was great too. They had a good little chemistry as two families coming into one. Shout out to them.
Yeah, I love that.
It's a good deal,
Kinda
dude.
like a really good day of love.
It was. It was a good weekend of love.
Yeah.
Did you go to any CMA stuff?
Mm-mm.
Mm,
No, I was tired. Dude, after Thursday, I was tired.
no question.
Then we went to we had the wedding on Saturday. Yesterday, I mean, I just played Jurassic World Evolution 2 for...
What is that? Is that a multiplayer game or what?
No, it's a single player game, and it's basically like Roller Coaster Tycoon for dinosaurs.
Go ahead.
You never played Roller Coaster Tycoon growing up?
No.
One of the best games on PC of all time. We should, you know what? PC games like back in the I don't know, 90s, 2000s, I guess.
2000s probably.
Yeah.
90s. No.
But you build a park. It's like Sim City.
Yeah.
And you're just you're like building a dinosaur park.
I think Sims would be up there too, right? Best computer games of all time.
Yeah, Sims would be up. Sims would be up there. Backyard baseball.
Yeah,
I
is this
think the
it?
backyard games. Good God.
Ooh. Rated T for teen. When you saw that, you're like, damn.
But you build a if you haven't played Roller Coaster Tycoon, it's kind of like Harvest Moon for building Jurassic parks.
And so you just build these things up. So you make your own park. Did the dinosaurs break out?
Park. You got to research for like DNA so you can figure out what the dinosaurs are. Then you got to dig up the fossils to unlock the dinosaurs, that species.
Really?
And when you have that species, you got to learn more and more about the species by continuing to dig, continuing to build, continuing to learn about them. Then you get to hatch them from a hatchery. After you make all the cages, you make, whether it's carnivore meat, you build forests, like ground nut, ground fruit.
So it's like Ark.
Yeah, but you're not a character in Ark. Or you're like
Okay.
in Ark, you're a character. Here, you're not like boots on the ground. You're not a like a character.
Yeah, you're God.
Yeah, you're God. You're playing God, and
Yeah.
you build a park, and you got to like beat these missions, or you can go sandbox mode where you can just do whatever you want. The dinosaurs will fight each other, so you can put them like you can build a cage and like make carnivores like go in there, and you'll see like who wins in the fights. They can break out of the cages. You got to continue to like fuel it with electricity and like all these different utilities to make sure the park's
full-time
running.
job.
Yeah, it's a full-time job. There's always something going on in the parks, man.
Is it realistic like this?
Yeah, and then like say you want to go out and into like the wild and go get dinosaurs. You can do that too. So you can have your park and then drive out into the wild like you're hunting kind of to like tranquilize them, put them down, and then transport them to your park.
Oh, animal trafficking.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a really big fan of the game. But
Yeah.
I am a true tier 1 day 1 Jurassic Park guy.
I love that, dude. I always loved Jurassic Park, but I was never like a tier 1 dude about it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I was about it. I was about that. I was about like Star Wars, Free Willy, anything with like animals too. Like Mighty Joe Young, I was about.
Mighty Joe Young fucking hit.
Yeah, what are you
What's
laughing
Mighty
about,
Joe
Jack?
Young?
This movie about like a big ass gorilla that they rescue and they're trying to like put it
From
down.
poachers.
Yeah, from poachers. It's one of those like late 90s movies that just hit you in your fucking heart.
Imbo Wimbo Wahoo. That's the song. And
Really?
It's a good song, man. Mighty Joe, anything with animals, the boy was about Lion King. I was all about watching the Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
Big Cat Diaries, like Animal Planet. I'm all
Holy
about that
shit,
kind
Will,
of shit.
you really went
Yeah.
through that, huh, buddy?
I think I'm going to subscribe to Apple TV and get and start watching the prehistoric show just because it's a dinosaur. Look at Mighty Joe Young, dude. What a stud.
Are we over cable? Is cable done?
I think cable's dead.
You think cable's dead?
Yeah. And now that like all these streaming platforms are getting rights to games, especially.
Right.
Because that was the one reason to
the
have
only
cable.
thing that was holding cable on was just like primetime games. But now
Yeah.
like Hulu and Amazon Prime is grabbing all these like Thursday night games and
Dude, it's interesting because there's a true, like, I feel like war of like streaming and these networks that going at it that people don't necessarily see. They see the subscriptions, they see who has what channel, but there's like a fucking who's going to come out on top.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hulu, Netflix, you got Amazon, YouTube even. You see everybody kind of adapting.
Dude,
Apple.
Netflix is the one that you just seen grow like crazy because when Netflix first came out, it was garbage.
Yeah, you got them shipped to your house, the CDs or whatever, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to roll down a Blockbuster. I'm not going to wait on a CD to come to my
Oh,
free
man,
hand.
Blockbuster was that fucking hitter, dude. I
Yeah.
loved it. And then people are all about Hollywood Video too, but I'm a Blockbuster guy over Hollywood Video.
Yeah, my two were Blockbuster and then Family Video.
What's Family Video?
It's like got the orange logo. It's got Family Video and the orange logo.
I love that. What else is going on? Is there anything you want to talk about?
No, I mean, well, you kind of know, like, we talk all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And you don't
like
talk,
we
you don't
had the
talk to
weekend.
them.
We were around each other a couple times over the weekend. I told you about
Which
Sunday. It was
doesn't
a
happen
very
as much
relaxed
anymore.
day. What?
Us being around each other a lot. outside of here.
Yeah.
But
There's
it's not-
There's
it's no
not a
one's
lot.
fault.
There's not like a lot of like slow times. Like before Bussin With The Boys, like we were like boys on the team. Like
Yeah.
we'd go over. It's like, what do you want to do tonight? Oh, let's hang out together. type of
Yeah, it
thing.
was always like at my house in the basement, doing whatever.
Because all you focused on was football.
Right.
Like once football's done during the day, like when OTAs get out, like it's like, well, what else do we do? Because
Mhm.
we only do football.
Yeah.
Like let's do recovery stuff. Let's do all these different things. You didn't really have a whole lot to do outside of playing football. Now we got like, I just got a family. Your family's been growing.
Wow.
We got this little small business we're running with Bussin With The Boys.
Another thing about Dylan's wedding, dude, everyone was coming up,
About Bussin'?
guys and girls.
I mean, we were all kind of alluding to it with Jason Aldean, but you're walking in, those dudes who are on stage are yelling. It's always dudes too.
Always,
The
dude.
boys,
The boys.
let's go.
Like, fuck yeah. You low key feel like a celebrity walking around here.
Yeah.
It's nice. I walked in the gas station today and I couldn't even get my bottle of water.
What else?
Don't talk about
Come
it.
on.
No.
Let's come on now. Kind of Billy Willy right now. Yeah. So
Hooked up with my ex.
Taylor, we can pull up the clip, but Taylor has relapsed and my man is back on the Zins.
I'm not back on the Zins. I'm quitting.
Yeah. Zinner Lewan.
No, dude, don't start that. Don't start that. It was a hiccup. It was a hiccup.
It was a hiccup at Beer Olympics that night. And
Yeah.
I tried. I was like, hey, I don't think you want to do this, man.
I know.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, the Bud Lights weren't letting me.
The Bud Lights weren't letting
They
you.
wouldn't
You
let
were
me say
vibing.
no.
I feel that. But now you're walking in with them. You bought them at the gas station. It seems like you're going back into
It
the
feels that way,
comfort.
doesn't it? It feels that way. It's just such a toxic relationship. I see her and she's flirting and being great. And I'm like, oh, you forget all the bad times you two had together.
Yeah. It's like
And
Love
then
the
you-
Way You Lie with Eminem and Rihanna.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Watch her leave at the window. It's
Yeah,
called window pane, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I fucking relapsed, dude. I'm pissed about it. 8 weeks sober. 8 weeks sober.
I know.
Out the drain for a Zin.
Is there something that we can say and stand on next for some just public accountability, or are we just gonna feel it out? We're just gonna see where we're at in a week or so.
No, I think it's time. After today.
After today, you're done.
After today, we're done.
Next one.
After this can's done.
Okay. After the game, we're gonna say by the time this pod drops Thursday, you're gonna be done.
Oh, today's Monday. I'm done Tuesday.
I'm just saying.
I fully
I'm
fully
publicly
believe
saying-
I will tweet on Thursday, day 3 of being sober.
That's great. I hope so. I'm just saying Thursdays when we will take this public accountability and try to take it serious.
I'm gonna need a token after a couple weeks though.
You're gonna be in Canada.
You better tweet one at me.
Yeah, some more sad news. The boys are gonna go back to one episode a week starting
next
the
week.
very last week of June. Next week's the last week of the 8 week.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah. So the two shows a week is coming to an end. It was more of a test, like a trial run, but it's been fucking awesome.
How do we feel about it?
I feel really good about it. I really do.
I think the 2 episode a week thing is awesome.
You just don't know if people are gonna come and listen to like the interview, the main one that we drop, and then come back again for a second one in the week, because everybody's got their pod library, right? Everybody's got their pods they like to go to throughout the week. If you're a Rogan guy, you're gonna have to take that pod and listen to for an entire week. People like their McAfee's, their Pivot podcasts, or Pardon My Take, like all their different pods.
Yeah.
Bussin With The Boys. So you feel like if you put another one out there, like who knows how much retention we'll actually get from the first one. But we've seen like good numbers, and everybody, I'm sure everybody's been saying they love the 2 pods a week if you check the comments and everything else.
The 2 pods have definitely seemed like people are about it. I think it's a move. It might be as 2023 and beyond.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you'll have to let the year play out in the season. Like Taylor, he's gonna after OTAs is done, my man's going to Canada for a month.
Yeah.
That's where his wife was born and groomed and stuff. She's a groomed Canadian, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
dude.
you're gonna go spend time out there in Canada, so that's why we won't continue to keep up the 2 a week, because you just can't put that kind of pressure expectation on it. Like,
Yeah, I
we
think it's a family
about
time.
doing
Man.
the Zoom stuff, but we all internally know that we can do it to get by if we need to every now and then. But we don't
Right.
ultimately want to do that just for like to put one out, just to put one out.
Here's something to think about too. You brought this up, and I don't want to take your shit, but the thought of maybe doing something where I'm like an AJ Hawk on this pod during the season.
That right there, I think is a conversation for us, and I think there's just variables that you got to talk through versus
Yeah.
like saying that and be like, Because I'm all
I
about
want it, but you know how it gets, dude. We lose a game. I don't play so well in a game, and it's just like,
trust me,
it
yeah,
seems so much bigger than it is.
right. Like a Aaron Rodgers, how he goes on the McAfee show
Yeah.
once a week because McAfee they run a 5-day thing. I actually was on a green light, and Chris and I were talking about because we went back and forth on Twitter about Draymond Green doing his podcast while he's playing. They literally lost, and he had a bad game, and went and did a podcast within an hour of losing in his hotel room. Ran a podcast, did the same thing again. He got benched in the fourth quarter, went back and did a podcast. So Chris and I were like going back and forth on like doing a pod and balancing it all. Because I think it's wild because Chris was like, I think, I won't say arguing, but it seemed like he was going back after by saying like, if you think a 30-minute podcast is going to affect his play. And all I said was it can potentially affect your play. If you're thinking about if you're going and doing a podcast immediately after the game,
Mm-hmm.
it can tell me that you are probably thinking about that podcast in the fourth quarter.
You think so?
Because you have a bad game. And I'm only like, Chris brought up a good point. He's like, you're only saying that because that might be the way you feel with it. I'm like, yeah, that's true. So I've talked about Twitter with the Thanksgiving game and sitting on the bench thinking about it. Like if you know you're trying to run a podcast, I feel like it can play into your psyche. Because I think where Chris and I were kind of dividing, but we weren't necessarily saying this. We weren't talking about the same thing. My argument was like, if you're trying to win the championship, if you're trying to be all in for your sport, like you're trying to be one of the best, like you got to be able to like eliminate distractions.
Right.
Like if you're sitting there and say you were doing a podcast, some solo podcast, and you're doing them after every game, a couple times a week.
Yeah.
You're talking about the NBA, you're talking about your team, you're talking about the players on your team. And you start playing bad. Like I know Draymond's been up and down and people talk about his stats. They've kind of been similar no matter what. He's more of a defensive guy than an offensive guy. But if you're having a tough time at work and I'm like your sports psychologist, dude, and we're sitting there just focusing on you as the individual and you want to be like, I want to win a championship in football.
Mm-hmm.
We would talk about everything else that's going on in your life that could potentially be a distraction. That could potentially be a distraction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was more saying like it can affect your game if you're actually thinking about it all the time. Now Draymond, maybe he's not. And maybe like to me when we were talking to JJ, basketball players or NBA players, I feel like they might vibe with the whole media thing and doing podcasting differently than what maybe football guys do.
Yeah, it's probably just a different world, different culture, different world. I feel like the players have more say in the NBA than they do the NFL. But they have more of a power, I guess, if that might be the right word. I don't know.
It might be like be more empowered. Like
they feel like there's less of them. They get money. The money's guaranteed. I'm not sure, but part of me just feels like the NBA, you have more of a freedom to do kind of what you want. Can be more self-expressive than football. And then football is much more self-expressive than a hockey. A hockey, you're kind of like, they're not allowed to say nothing. But they're all so like, the hockey boys their personalities are phenomenal. You put them in front of a mic and they'll be like, oh, we got to make sure there's no gray area turnovers and all that kind of they'll say basic things to kind of get through the interview because they're just trying to focus on hockey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because my whole argument was just like, it just depends on what the guy wants. Like, I'm not saying his priority is not winning a championship, but if he wants to juggle both and maximize both, he's a fucking genius because he's been living number one sports podcast each time because everybody talks about it. Everybody's like, oh, he shouldn't be doing this. He shouldn't be doing that. But it's number one on the charts, like literally each week after each game because people know he's going to go talk on the mic. He does a good job speaking on it.
He really has been slaying it.
Yeah. So it's like, it all depends on how you want your shit to go. But it's like if you were affected, because in one of his recent pods, he was talking about how he might have let external factors influence him a little bit. But it's like if all you want is to win a championship right now, that's where it could potentially be a slippery slope because if you're losing, it looks terrible. But if you're winning, you look like a fucking genius.
Yeah. If it's Aaron Rodgers going on McAfee's podcast once a week, that's not that big of a deal. Let's say if I would put myself in Draymond Green's shoes during the season, I feel like it's fine. But if you're in the finals,
right? That's all I was thinking. Yeah,
it's like, hey, I'm not doing nothing, but focusing on these finals,
right?
But there's a lot of different arguments for that, for sure.
Yeah, I think ultimately, if you feel good, if you actually feel good, your teammates don't mind it, and because I feel like that's something that I would think about if I was doing it. Like, what are, and maybe that's an issue of my own. But what are like my teammates and coaches like? Are they kind of like,
Yeah.
Not walking in the room the next day and everybody's like, why are you going on your podcast?
Yeah, that's what I have an issue with too.
And talking about how everybody played. Like, how about, you could see variable. How about you tell your teammates how they played, like, to them personally, than being on a podcast?
Yeah.
But if everybody has an understanding and like Coach Kerr's like cool with it, again, I don't really know that culture as well.
Yeah, the only reason why I would want to come on this podcast and do like 20 minutes and get out is just to keep the presence alive on this pod. Seeing the way it's grown this offseason, how the boys, everyone's finding a personality in the back here. We're really finding a huge stride with us and how we're growing, kind of like staying on the ship. Because I really believe in my head, like if I got off the ship for 6 months, ship's kind of left me behind. And I know I come back and everything will be fine. Like we are who we are. We're boys for a reason. But it's like you guys will find new things. The show's got to go on. And if I came on for 20 minutes on a Monday, is that, I'm not going to go and talk about my teammates and how they play. I would never do that.
You could always structure it like, we talk about stuff like ahead of time.
Yeah.
And really, I could be the quote unquote media. You touch on a couple things, but then we just, it's like
do a pod.
It's like an escape pod. Yeah. You just do a pod.
Yeah, maybe. It's worth thinking about.
It's worth thinking about to where you just come in and all you think about is I'm going to put in 20 minutes on the bus.
Yeah.
Everything else is structured out by us to where it's cut and clear that you're just, you're doing your podcast.
Yeah. We're thinking about.
Yeah.
We'll unpack that a little bit later.
Yeah,
what else we got in the
Tight end
U coming to town.
Yeah.
So there's tight end U's coming to town. George Kittle, Greg Olson, and Travis Kelce. They all put on tight end U, which it seems like it's coming an annual thing. They got a brand building off of it. But a lot of the league's best tight ends, a lot of the league's tight ends, I think some college guys are even coming to town to do tight end U. So hopefully we will have some guests. You guys will get to hear from some of the tight ends that come to town. That'll be fun. I know we're going to do a vlog. Similar, I don't know if you guys watched the PBR vlog last year where we went into professional bull riding and they kind of hosted us and we got to see all the ins and outs of everything. We're going to try to do something similar by creating a vlog for Tight End U, which will be made by the boy JP, who's a stud with the vlogs. So be on the lookout for that stuff. But yeah, Tight End U's coming to town. It's going to be hot out there. NASCAR's right after. SummerSlam is potentially in like the... People are asking if we could go to SummerSlam and stuff.
What day is SummerSlam?
I don't know. Is it? It might. I think it's something. I think training camps has already started.
Training camp. Where's NASCAR too? When?
Right after Tight End U.
Is it?
So you got Tight End U 22nd and 24th, and NASCAR's 25th and 26th.
I'm gone for all those.
I know, bro. It's
heartbreak,
tough.
dude. Fucking heartbreak. But that'll be cool.
But you can subscribe to the YouTube. Watch it.
I'll watch it.
Comment.
I'll subscribe and rate 5 stars.
Give it a rating. You give it a rating.
Absolutely. Definitely gonna miss that. What else is going on in this thing?
I don't know if you want to talk about this.
AJ Brown says he's the best wide receiver to play for the Titans. Okay. Like, I'm the greatest football player of all time. Right?
I am the best linebacker that's ever played for the Tennessee Titans. And that's facts. You can look that up. I don't know what if anybody disagrees.
I'm the greatest reader. I'm the greatest reader of all time.
Yeah, I'm the greatest Jurassic World Evolution 2 player of all time.
I'm the best Harry Potter reviewer of all time.
I'm the greatest 3 beer chug drinker of all time.
I'm the best water drinker of all time.
I'm the best Kool-Aid drinker of all time.
I'm the best relapse on Zins of all time.
I'm the best Monopoly player of all time.
That's not. Oh,
I'm the best risk player of all time.
I'm the best Rocket League player of all time.
We just start getting in our own personal stuff and just saying like I'm the best this of all time.
I'm the best dad of all time.
That was a good one. I'm the best podcaster of all time.
I'm the best tweeter of all time.
Fuck. I'm the best Instagrammer of all time.
Like, what is that? What is the context?
Completely get away from it.
Somebody, I can find the Twitter exchange, but it was just some random fan said something to him, and he said, "Hold on, let me find it."
Yeah, it's making its rounds on the media right now. Everybody's talking about it.
He probably deleted it. He's a big delete guy, right?
Big delete guy.
Tweet delete, baby. Control Alt delete.
No, this is it. So this was the initial tweet. Really nothing to do with him being the greatest receiver of all time.
He's just tweeting about the weather. Percent of the weather that doesn't.
That, like the percentage of weather doesn't mean what you think it does. And then some Titans fan came at him with this.
For the love of God, just stay off social media. You're already a villain. No need to make it a stupid villain.
Yeah, and so
Like,
that, it's for that thing. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, what an atrocious. What is it, Henry Given
Yeah.
Sunday?
For the love of God, I was the best
Jesus
receiver to
Christ.
play for your franchise. Jesus, shut up and move on. You mad at the wrong person. Oh yeah, he just.
I think what AJ should have done is taken him on a walk. That's
That'd have been
really
solid.
that's like you
That's
do
perfect
that,
walk material.
right. Like that's like a perfect way of doing it before like
Yeah.
making it continuing with making it about football because now everybody's grabbing it and making something of it, obviously.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, he plays for the
everybody
Eagles.
can sit there and go back and forth and argue their dicks off. I am not a Titans franchise historian. I've seen the tweets on people comparing this and that, and I think it's like Derek Mason maybe.
Yeah, I
it's the
saw
best of all
Buck.
time.
I saw Buck Rising tweeting about who's the best. Oh, Buck, he just fucking lashes his trailer to anybody, huh?
Oh yeah, Buck's a one of a kind, man.
He's one of a kind.
interesting
220 by training camp. We'll
you
see.
guys being huge Tennessee Titans fans, and you guys love AJ Brown. How do you guys feel about AJ saying that?
3 years of the Titans. He's the greatest receiver of all time.
Yeah, I don't know. For the amount of time, I don't think you can really say that. If he had stayed longer, I would have probably 100% agreed. He was a dog, but
I mean, as far as talent
3
goes,
years,
it's
though?
fucking hard to find a specimen like AJ.
Yeah, he's a fucking specimen now.
The drama
Specimen of all
that
time.
started coming about in the last 6 months and the last year, I don't know. You can be a good player, but then have that attitude, and then it kind of you like lose that edge. In my opinion, I don't know. It's a very loaded question. I don't even know if there is a right answer to it. We haven't had historically like a pinpoint wide receiver in our franchise.
Yeah, we had Randy Moss.
What was it? Derek Mason had like he had an All-Pro year, Pro Bowl year. He had 3,000 plus yard seasons. Were they all back to back early in his career? Yeah, I think it's 2.
How many 1,000-yard seasons did AJ have? Just the one?
Wasn't it 2? Didn't he go back to back?
No.
900 something in year 2. The tough issue with AJ is his
thought it was
availability.
Nate Washington.
His
Availability.
hasn't been the best. He's been injured like got you. Right. I think it's just like, yeah, it's just
I think at the end of it, who cares?
right.
Right? Who cares? If he was or he wasn't, he plays for the Eagles now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I went to a different team, I could be like, I was the best tackle to ever play for the Titans, which is actually true. But
Which low key facts.
I mean, all you gotta do is, look at the stats.
You just
boys.
hope that he'll be able to move on eventually
he
from
will.
keeping up with that stuff.
Who, AJ?
Yeah, because it's like, dude,
But at the same time,
you were
you
so
literally
sick.
you're just
Why are you
you're
just
tweeting
burning
about,
bridges?
Yeah, but if you're AJ, like you're tweeting about the weather, like you're just tweeting something. You thought someone was like you thought it was funny. You had a funny conversation with your girl about weather, and then some fan comes in and talks about for the love of God, stay off social media. It's kind of like, yeah, shut the fuck up, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all he should have said.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. He should just like,
Right. Continuing to keep it about the Titans, like going into his world, roll around with the pigs, you get muddy. Just tell him to
Amen.
shut the fuck up.
You know, if
type
AJ
of
did,
thing.
if AJ did stay though, he is the greatest. Probably.
Potentially, yeah. Like it's his 4th year.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? His 4th year.
Yeah, it is wild.
Yeah.
And now
he had
based
one
on
Pro Bowl.
and based on that, now you see Terry McLaurin. Is it McLaren or McLaurin?
McLaurin.
Holding
He's
out.
holding out because he wants a similar situation like AJ. Like AJ kind of changed it up a little bit. What makes AJ so crazy is just the fact that he was going into his contract year like he wasn't up or nothing like that. And you get a trade and a big payday. You don't stay on your rookie contract. You also get a big payday. So a lot of these younger, especially with the hot receiver market now, you see a lot of these guys, it seems like, trying to take on the same kind of
I know.
on AJ's lead by look, I'm
Terry's
not
a
going to go
beast,
either.
too.
I think there's like a what AJ said happened. I don't think happened. You know what I'm saying?
Which
I
part are we
think he
talking
said
about
something
right
like
now?
what they offered and what they actually offered. I don't know. I'm not in the office with John. They keep that stuff close to the vest, but I don't know who
I
told me
think
that.
they made it like whether or not John and them made it public. Like there was like
Someone made it
there was
public for the
there was
Titans,
stuff.
right?
It
Someone
was
said
Buck.
something.
It was Buck.
Buck said
Yeah,
somebody
he
told
did.
him.
Yeah, he did the timeline of everything that exchanged. Like, yeah, there's he said, she said. Like at the end of the day, like both sides didn't make it work out.
Yeah, listen,
If you're a player-
AJ's our boy.
Yeah,
But, you know, like it is what it's. It just it sucks he's gone.
Right.
Because as a teammate, you want him on your team.
for sure, because he's a beast.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
Yes, but
It's just, you know, both sides got to come to an agreement, and if one side's way off, like it's not both. If both sides wanted to be together for real, they would have found a way to be together for
Right.
real, and that's what it comes down to.
you know what I'm saying?
And now it's
You know
like,
what I'm
it's interesting because these teams can now trade. Be like, look, we're not going to end up paying Terry, so they could trade Terry, get some compensation for it. Which is what did the Titans get for trading AJ?
You have the 18th overall pick and then something else as well. I think a third round pick.
Another pick in the same year. Like you get draft picks. You can get another way to get compensated by letting them go, because that could be something that's a potential distraction down the line. They're holding out and not playing ball because these players know that they're going to get paid eventually. It's just, you know, how long you willing to hold out and risk it.
Yeah, and if you're going into a contract year and you want to get paid, that fear of, well, if I get hurt or something, I'm not making as much money.
Yeah.
So if you're being a little quote unquote selfish now, you get paid. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, we all know it. At the end of the day, like players, they need to do whatever they can to get compensated,
Whatever you
as
can.
much as they want.
Yes.
Now, if somebody like feels like I want to be in this city and I want to be on this team and I will take less money, everybody's different. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter. It doesn't make it right or wrong. Yeah, you'll probably be like more of a fan favorite because fans want their favorite players to stay. But if a dude makes a selfish decision and goes elsewhere because they want to get paid,
Yeah.
and they're literally just looking out for themselves, there's nothing wrong with that. That's why you work extremely hard to like get in these types of situations. Now, right, wrong, and different, sometimes it gets messy, sometimes it's shitty, but ultimately, like, you're just looking out for your own stuff.
I feel like the word selfish is being used in a negative way. Like,
Right.
this is a selfish game on both sides. Like, the GMs, the owners, they want the best talent for the least amount of money, and the players want the most amount of money for the least amount of time. And it's just like, it's a selfish game all around. So
Yeah.
it's like, it is what it is.
Right. It's all business, dude.
It's a business deal.
On the note of receivers, AJ being probably the biggest trade, and then Devante and Tyreek. Devante says that Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers are the same QB. I guess, well, you can
Is that what
probably.
he's quoted at?
I don't know. That was something I thought you had seen. I didn't see that. You had mentioned.
Yeah,
it
bring up
earlier.
his quote, but he did say their abilities like the same. I think it's tough. I'm a huge Derek Carr fan. Derek Carr is the boy. One day he's going to be on this bus, and I can't wait to ask him about that comment and just kind of go back and forth on it. I think that's like obviously hard to say, right? Like we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, possibly the
Yeah.
most talented QB of all
Mhm.
time.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I play both
I
those
know it's
teams
harder.
this year.
Yeah, it's
you
harder
go
for
ahead.
you to comment on
Go
it.
off, King.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what premise you're going off at. Like they had a rapport because they played on the same team in college. So they're boys. Like Derek,
Yeah.
I want to say got him a car, right? Isn't he getting him a car because he signed with them? I think he's getting Devante Adams a car. But I think they are like, as far as talent and ability, it's really similar if I'm keeping it real. Okay, so Devante right there could.
Yeah, but is there
There's some
anything else
gray area.
after that? Because that's a quote taken. What else does the article say? Where is that quote at in this article?
This was probably a quote from like a media day, so it's probably just right off the.
Yeah, I think he was
And I
standing
feel
up
like
at
it's
the
probably
podium.
Devontae just trying to like credit Derek Carr more than digging Aaron Rodgers.
I agree with that. That's a good take, Jack.
Which Derek gets a lot of heat. Like Derek's been somebody who's under the microscope literally
which is
every
weird,
fucking
'cause he's
year.
so good.
Yeah. He's a stud, bro. But I do think he takes a lot of heat. So this could be a way of like boosting your boy, which I'm all for. And he says
Yeah.
they're really similar. They can be really fucking similar. It's not like the same thing. I think it's a little like, you know, it's like, it's hard to say that when Aaron Rodgers has put a career together like he has.
Back-to-back MVPs.
Yeah,
Mm,
right. You know what I
fun.
mean? He's won a Super Bowl, back-to-back MVPs. Not that Derek can't do those things. It's just until it happens, which maybe it will this year because you got firepower of Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, Devante Adams, Hunter Renfrow. By the way, Hunter Renfrow just got paid. Like
Shout out Hunter Renfrow, dude.
Like a 2-year, $32 million extension.
Solid.
And I think him being a slot receiver in McDaniel's offense, when McDaniel's has had like the Edelmans, the Wes
Yeah.
Welkers, like
Eat.
them boys are gonna eat, bro. I think I'm high on the Raiders this year. I'm high on the Raiders. I think they got a lot of offensive power. And then on defense, you know, you got the pass rushers. They're in like the toughest division, like arguably in the NFL.
You think they take the West?
I think they're the favorites. I know a lot of people are high on I think the Chiefs just by default. until they get kind of dethroned. They've been doing their thing the last few years. I think they're in the media's eyes, odds-wise on the sports book and everything. They're number one, best odds. And number two, I think, is the Chargers. And then the Raiders are 3. I think the Raiders are like slept on with that, dude.
Yeah, hey, don't sleep on the Broncos either, dude. The Broncos are studs too.
Yeah, they got a good team too. They got a lot of good young guys, a lot of good young talent, and Russell now, Mr. Unlimited, delivering the ball.
I feel like when you go to a different team, like for whatever reason, your like default is to say that whoever it was dishing you the ball is better than, whoever dishing the ball now is better than who was.
Right. Because Tyreek Hill, he's got a new podcast now that he just came out with.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Hey, we're
bro, it's crazy how many people have started podcasts, and we were the first. And like, we're the first ones to do it.
Inspiring. We're inspiring. Bro. But he said on his podcast, he made the comment that Tua is a lot more accurate than Pat Mahomes, and he'd rather catch the ball in his route than on like a scramble drill, like backyard game type of thing. Like, he wasn't taking shots, but I think again, you're like, it's the default thing to do is just hype up who you're with right now.
Yeah.
Like if I'm a receiver, whoever's throwing me the ball, like, yeah, they're better than everybody. Oh, he's better than Tom Brady.
Right.
Because you're building that rapport, you're building that relationship. Hey, throw me the ball. But if you don't throw him the ball during the season, there will be problems with these wide receivers. Yeah, there's still time. Yeah. Dude, Devante Adams going to the Raiders, because he's also been coming out talking about he had conversations with Aaron throughout the entire process, and that's what kind of played into his decision to go with the Raiders, which kind of hints at Aaron Rodgers just might retire after this year. Like, he just doesn't give a fuck. Like, hey, bro, go do your thing somewhere else because I'm probably not going to be here. Yeah, don't trust that I'm going to be here. But yeah, the Raiders got a shot, dude, if they make some noise, man.
NFL's a wild fucking place. Dude.
Yeah, I know you can't speak a whole lot. The boy Taylor, the reason he doesn't chime in, he's actually on a team, and he's actually like, can't talk about that shit. Like, he doesn't want to be the poster boy in a team meeting.
No, there's no reason to be either, because, who cares?
Yeah.
I think the one thing about me we don't like.
We care, right, boys? I'm going to be a fan this year. The boy's going to be a super fan.
You're 10.
You can't say who cares because now your boy cares. You know what I mean?
All right.
You can't like look at me and be like, oh, who cares? Like, because I'm going to be hyping you up. I'm going to be hyping the boys up.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, these motherfuckers, like, who cares?
When we win, you'll be hyping us up. A bit of a bandwagon guy.
I am a bit of a bandwagon guy.
Yeah.
But even though publicly I might not be there on the bandwagon guy, you know how.
I know you support the boy.
Yeah, you know the boy. You know the boy's
I
there
know.
all the time. But I am fired up. I'm fired up to kind of sit in a different seat this year a little bit. That's not.
Is this a retirement?
Yeah, that's not a retirement thing. But I'm just saying, going in now that I've done it a couple years in a row, there's no expectation of it or stress to where I'm like, I'm excited to like. You get a little bit removed to where you start to like love the game more for like how you grew up loving it. Like I'm like seeing the teams and listening to the drama a little bit more. And I'm kind of like, oh, I'm excited football season's coming up because I know I'm not in it right now. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah, dude.
One day you'll know. We'll be on this bus and we'll be like, hey, football season in 100 days.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
It just kind of brings like that joy back of fandom.
But yeah, Devante Adams. Why the fuck would you say that about Carr? Or the opposite?
Does that mean Aaron Rodgers is retiring?
Yeah, dude. Just fucking click bait. Click bait.
Click
bait.
Yeah.
That's solid, dude. Are we ready for one of our favorite segments of the week?
Oh, I forgot about it.
Did you really?
Oh, I'm excited. Listen, I'm going to come up with something, but I'm excited about it.
You go in your book real quick?
We'll see what I got brewing.
Well, while you're checking out Getting Brewing, it is time for one of our favorite segments of the week, the Shoutout of the week. And as always, we start with the man who gets rattled the fastest out of anybody, but always has a good time on the mic. Blasi, what do you got for us?
This week, I gotta shout out the going to your local butcher shop.
Oh.
So this week.
That's a good one.
Hold on, let him finish.
Sorry.
Already.
Paint this picture for us, Bloss.
Come on, bro.
So this week.
Get you on the cam.
This week.
Press the button, now he's on the cam.
This week, I got to cook out for a couple friends,
Ooh.
but I also got to introduce them to a new meat that they hadn't had before.
Your meat.
Ooh, okay, Blasi.
I got to introduce them into tri-tip. I don't know if you guys have ever had
tri-tip hits now.
West Coast. It's a West Coast cut. Well, it's known out on the West Coast, but this local butcher shop actually had it, and I was able to introduce my friends into tri-tip, which they fell in love with. So shout out to your local butcher shop.
That's outstanding. There's a place in California, Cardiff, California, and there's a grocery store and they sell Cardiff Crack, which is tri-tip, but it's been seasoned already. Shit's unbelievable now. It's probably one of my favorite steaks I've ever had in my entire life. What a shout out. No free shout out of the week. Jackie, my man, paint us a picture.
What's going on?
Mr. Relapse himself.
Yeah. So, let's say you're just like out at a dinner with a friend, and I'll paint the picture of something that is not my shout out. It's when, and you could be like a friend of yours, but you go through like a couple minutes of silence and you feel obligated to say something just to like cut the, the silence.
Yeah.
And that's awkward. But my shout out, no free shout out of the week, is non-awkward silences. When you can be with someone, whether it's at a dinner or just sitting around, and you do not feel obligated to say anything, and it's not weird at all. There's like a very like safe, peaceful feeling about being with someone where you don't feel awkward at all about just sitting there for 30 minutes in silence, and then someone comes up and you're like, oh yeah, let's talk. We go straight back to not talking. I think that's true friendship.
Oh,
you don't find that everywhere.
No, you don't.
So those non-awkward silences, that's something that is taken for granted in my life. So shout out, no free shout out to that.
I tell you, that is the sign of a true friendship.
It is the sign
of a true friendship for sure. Outstanding. Next on the list, Mr. Glizzy himself, JP.
Yes,
Glizzy
sir.
God.
The Glizzy God.
Yeah, I'm sticking on the food train. I had a nice meal last night. Riley Green was at this restaurant.
Oh,
Ooh,
Mr.
he's a
Vascular.
Jerry Stackhouse was there.
All right.
I know you're already probably thinking these are some famous people. JP, what are you doing in there? Can you afford that? No, I can't afford it. First, it's Hall's Chop House. Fire. Y'all gotta check it out.
Hall's Chop House.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super good. Came from South Carolina. But my shout out, no free shout out, goes to when your roommates or friends' parents come to town and bring you to dinner.
Oh, that's a nice one, dude.
Free meals like that. Oh
There's
my
nothing
god.
better, dude. In college, when you're boys,
God.
hey, mom and dad are in town. Oh, where are we going to eat? And you go to the expensive place.
Exactly.
And they pay for it and you order as much as you possibly
But
can.
you also say, when their parents come to town, they ask you to go to dinner. You're like, no, I'm good, man. Like, I can't.
Exactly.
I can't afford that type of thing. And then they're just to see. And then they're like, oh, bro, don't worry about it. They got it. And you're like, let's fucking go, dude.
It's over after that, dude. It's fucking over. A lot of great shout outs of the week so far. Garrett, baby. Mr. Lacrosse.
Hey, baby.
The Ocho.
Okay, that'd be tight. Dodgeball was filmed on the Ocho.
Yeah, it was.
But no, mine is gonna go to. So it's getting hot outside. We've been
Yes,
sitting on this bus for a while. Could be a little swampy down below. So my
Feeling
shout
like
out,
guys.
no free shout out of the week, goes to that spray that you spray down low. It could be Gold Bond, but for us it's Duke Cannon, obviously.
Yeah.
But the dry ice spray to get your boys nice and cool from a swampy hot day.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm sweating right now.
I could use
My low
that.
back
We're all
and
gonna
my
go
Oh, I'm
outside.
dying right now. I'm hurting right now.
We're gonna go use it after this.
Heat device. We'll put it on each other.
Yeah,
It'll be perfect, dude. That's a
That'll be a good
perfect.
ad. That'll be a good little Instagram ad for him.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
Just taking,
That's an outstanding shout out. Shout out of the week. Willie?
man, my shout out of the week goes to cigars.
Oh.
I feel like I'm late shouting stogies out, but having a stogie with the boys, having a stogie on your own, whatever the vibe is, again, the boy loves back deck sitting outside. And like I said, whether you're with your boys or on your own, enjoying a little whiskey, enjoying a beer, but having a stogie, there are a few things I enjoy more than having a stogie. Now, the hard part of the stogie is whether you're going to hit a shower before bed, that bedtime routine, and no matter how much you brush, the next day you wake up with a little, that cigar mouth. That cigar mouth.
Mouth be going a little crazy.
However, to me, it's always worth it, and I would do it every day if I knew it wasn't that unhealthy.
That's a lot better.
My shout out of the week goes to having a stogie.
That's a way better shout out than your last week's shout out.
What was mine last week?
The boat wave. Which we all found out during that was just kind of just waving at people.
No,
'Cause everyone does it.
I
We
think
don't
it got
do
to
that.
that point
My
because I was
shout
saying
out,
whatever I was
shout out
saying
of the week.
and you took it. You didn't know what the boat wave
my
was.
turn.
Hang on, you just took it. You can't just take a gun, shoot me in the fucking shoulder, and not expect me to like figure something out. You know what I mean?
No, I would have fully expected you to not figure something out. You're not a medic. You're gonna be able to figure a gun wound out.
All right, man, go.
My shout out of the week is when it's really hot outside and you have to go to a convenience store or something, specifically Costco in my mind, and you have to park from a real far away place. Maybe it's way out there. It's a Saturday. Everybody's at Costco and you're walking. It's muggy outside. The heat index is in the 3-digit mark. And as you get to the door, you get hit with the fattest gust of wind and AC bursts in your body, rejuvenating you and giving you life to something you thought you were about to lose on your way to that Costco. So my shout out of the week is the AC unit. Let's fucking go, boys. When you said heat, I was like, fuck, he's gonna take it.
It was literally
No, you weren't.
Swear to God, I was gonna do AC. It's that first breath AC.
Yes, dude. But Costco, number one, because when you walk through the Costco and it hits you, your hair will, but it'll fucking like hit your hair like that. You're like, oh my God. And you fucking pull it back and you're like, oh, I'm in an oasis of cool air right now. It's a phenomenal feeling. Phenomenal feeling, dude. Love it.
So the boat wave.
Go ahead.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, I think in the thing, you said the boat wave and you just waving to people. It's like everyone has that. Motorcycle people have that. People who drive Jeeps have that. People who drive Raptors have that. When you're driving past your neighbor, you wave to them. It's kind of like just a polite thing you do when you pass somebody.
So you don't like when somebody waves at you and you wave back at
It's a
them?
polite thing to do.
But
And I
dude,
even
how
brought
does it
up
make
when
you
people
feel?
don't wave back, you're like, go fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah. So you enjoy a nice wave.
Yeah. I don't even like cigars. I like the cigars shout out better.
Yeah, that's fine.
I thought everybody else did a great job, though. I thought you guys did
The boat
phenomenal.
wave's a real thing. We can agree on that, right? Look at the boys nodding their head, yes.
I like to comment that everybody is nodding their head yes.
Yeah. Just for all the haters.
Yeah, dude. Energy was a little different this pod. A little more quiet today. A little more, you just knew it was a long weekend for the boys, but still
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah, I thought it was a good pod.
I enjoyed
A
it.
lot of storytelling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What'd you guys think? He
Phenomenal.
always keeps it a band.
Phenomenal.
All right, maybe he doesn't.
We got one word.
Phenomenal.
All right. Last thing up. Oh yeah, there's merch.
Right
dude.
now, as you guys are watching, our new merch, our 4th of July merch is out. We created these fucking absolute hitters, dude, for the boys in red, white, and blue, and a freaking eagle. An eagle with electricity. Imagine electricity all around this eagle, and the eagle's picking up a bus, a red, white, and blue bus, and that is, you got it. It's our bus.
Yeah.
And this thing is fucking incredible.
It's sick. It's fucking sick.
But yeah, it's in the merch store.
It's in the merch store.
store.barstoolsports, store.barstoolsports.com.
A lot of dots.
And you go to brands, you hit Bussin With The Boys. And these fucking hitters, because that's what they are, they're hitters. I mean, look at all that electricity. That thing is fire.
If you're a fan of Will Compton, you're a fan of these shirts.
That's there you go.
That's a good one. Absolutely.
If
Great
you like
shirt.
shopping at Walmart and a nice fucking graphic tee, dude. If you like a nice electric wolf shirt, it's just an eagle, and we're picking up the bus.
I love it, dude. Subscribe, rate 5 stars. You guys are keeping us in that top. We live in top 5 now. With these last 8 weeks, we have
We're
lived
in the top 20.
in
We're in the top 20 right now.
top 20 right now.
Top 20 right now. It's all good though.
That's tough, but usually in the top 5.
Usually
Top 5.
We need everybody to continue to re-download all that kind of shit.
Yeah, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Keep doing all those things. Big hugs and tiny
And also,
kisses.
brother,
And one more thing.
Happy Father's Day.
Oh
Happy
yeah,
Father's
dude,
Day,
it's
man. Have a good
Father's Day.
Father's Day this weekend.
First one.
Enjoy your old man. Yeah, my first one. Enjoy your old man. I hope you guys got him something from our store, of course, but enjoy your dads, man. For real.
Shout out the dads.
Happy Father's Day to you, bro.
And to you as well.